Here's the answers to color by numbers worksheet on mitosis and the cell cycle. So the purpose of mitosis is for cell growth and repair. So either you are adding new cells, that means growing, or you are repairing cells that got damaged if you got cut or got injured somehow, or you're just replacing worn out cell organelles. Those are the reasons you'd have mitosis happening. Also, if you're a single-celled organism, you would have mitosis for asexual reproduction. That means reproduction, an organism reproducing by itself. So one single cell becomes two single cell. This happens in protists and bacteria and other single-celled organisms. This choice here talks about the creation of egg and sperm. It's a process called meiosis. It's a process that we will talk about. And the difference is really that these create identical cells, mitosis, that have all of the same genetic information as the original cell, right? An exact copy, a duplicate. Whereas creation of egg and sperm is a vehicle for sexual reproduction that organisms use, and those cells only have half the number of chromosomes, half the amount of genetic information. And this would make a lot of sense because if you have two parents in sexual reproduction, one parent's going to give one half of the information, one parent's going to give the other, so that when these cells combine during fertilization, an egg and a sperm, you'll have a brand new organism with a complete set of genetic information. And this is what happens in humans, cats, dogs, any organism that reproduces sexually. The order of the phases of mitosis: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and what's missing there is the last phase, which is telophase. Chromosomes first become visible in prophase. So interphase is most of the cell cycle. That's where the cells are going to make that copy, but that copy is still chromatin. So it's just a loose, uncoiled form, not really starting to condense, but not really totally visible, certainly not visible as chromosomes yet. It's during prophase that we see those X-like shaped chromosomes. Chromosomes will line up in the middle of the cell during metaphase. That's the defining characteristics. All of the X's are lined up down the middle, and they're getting ready to be split apart. Which structure pulls the chromosomes apart? Those would be the spindle fibers. So the spindle fibers are attached to the centrioles, have or create the spindle fibers, and attach them to the middle of the X's, the centromeres, and are getting ready to pull them apart. DNA is replicated during which phase? That happens, as we said, during interphase. Interphase is the longest part of the cell cycle. It's where the cell carries out most of its life functions. If it's a lung cell, it's breathing. If it's a heart cell, it's beating. If it's a muscle cell, it's helping you to move your bones. And then at the end, when those cells are getting ready to replicate, they will copy all of their chromosomes. Spindle fibers pull the chromosomes to opposite poles of the cell during anaphase. So during metaphase, they're lined up down the middle, and during anaphase, the sister chromatids get pulled apart to opposite ends. So we're creating two areas that have two sets of the genetic information that we need. A human cell has 23 pairs of chromosomes. Following mitosis, the daughter cells, which are the new cells that are produced, would each have a total of, and the answer is 46 chromosomes. Remember, a pair means two. Here's one pair. So I could have 23 pairs, but if I count these chromosomes individually, it's 46 chromosomes. Which of the following is not a stage of mitosis? That would be diphase. Which of the following is the disorder in which cells have lost their ability to control mitosis and rapidly replicate? That is cancer. Cancer is defined as out of control cell growth. It means that the cells are just growing rapidly. They're growing more rapidly than the normally functioning cells. So if it's in your lungs and you have cancer happening, the cancer will eventually outgrow all of the well-functioning tissue. So what would happen is the cancer no longer would be able to breathe. It doesn't function like lung tissue. That's the problem with cancer. The other issue is it's still your cells. That's why it's so hard to fight, because how do you kill your cells without killing the other cells that you want that are working fine? And it's been the problem all along. Which statement is false? Cells in interphase have condensed chromosomes. In interphase, once again, the phase or the type of chromosomes you have are chromatin. It just means that the DNA is loosely and uncoiled. And when they coil down together, you get those X shapes. Those are the individual chromosomes. Which statement is true? Mitosis is only a small part of the cell cycle. That is very true. Right? It's only if you look at a big circle of the entire cell life, if you look at the cycle, mitosis is a little tiny piece. Most of the cell cycle is interphase, okay, and cytokinesis is the other little part, and that's after mitosis happens, you've got the two new nuclei. We need to finish divvying up the organelles as well as the cytoplasm. The cells need to pinch, and now you've got two functioning daughter cells which are identical to each other and identical to what the original cell was with the same genetic information. Here is a view of what the chromosomes look like when they are colored in. Have a nice day.